Hi, welcome to the last module of COIS 3820H, History and Impact of Computing. And in this module, we'll be talking about the World Wide Web. So what impact has the World Wide Web had on society? It's very difficult in Western society, at least, to find anything that hasn't been impacted by the World Wide Web. Some good things, some bad things, and some kind of somewhere in the middle things. Certainly businesses have changed, the way we do our banking has changed, the way we interact with each other has changed. It's also made it very much easier for the bad guys to try to steal our money or to try to harass us. Certainly a lot of good things, but also a lot of bad things as the impact from the World Wide Web. Basically everybody has a voice now, which is, you'd think, a good thing, but in some cases people probably shouldn't be given as much of a voice. A lot of things out on the internet I'd probably rather not read. So in 1992, companies were still trying to sell personal computers. Businesses, government, schools had bought in, but there wasn't really any need for anybody to have a computer at home. You could send email, but who would you send email to? You could use it to maintain your household bills, but you don't want to spend a couple $1,000s for something that'll tell you how much money you spent last year. At Trent, we had access to the internet. The World Wide Web hadn't been invented yet, or at least we didn't have access to it yet. We could access the internet using Kermit. Kermit was an FTP client. It would allow us to upload, download files from other computers on the internet. Archie and Veronica were the search engines. Google hadn't been thought of yet. And lots of other applications for moving around on the internet. But everything available on the internet was just static files. There wasn't any pictures, wasn't any video, wasn't any sound clips. Basically just files, documents, and that was about all you could access on the internet. All that changed in 1993 with Mosaic. Mosaic, the first web browser, actually allowed you to use hypertext to jump from document to document, download pictures. All of this changed with the introduction of Mosaic. One of the people who developed Mosaic went on the next year to develop Netscape. And of course, Netscape is still around. But it was a big driver in the web browser field. But Mosaic was the first one, at least that I had contact with. And you'll notice that Mosaic is, they had a version for Unix, for the Unix world, for the Windows world, and for the Macintosh world. With the advent of the World Wide Web too, it sort of settled the argument between, in the Windows world, or in the IBM world, whether you should use DOS or you should use Windows. Early 1990s, Windows was a hard sell. Windows 3.1 was the first one that I saw. It kept crashing. It was very, very slow. First time I'd used a mouse, it just didn't seem to have any purpose. In the DOS world, things were much, much faster. Didn't have to load, the graphical user interface. What you did have to do, though, was memorize the commands, but there's not that many of them. But once you got the World Wide Web, when you found things you could actually click on, then the web became the mouse became a mandatory part of the computer. So you can give credit to the World Wide Web with moving us all over into more graphical user interfaces. Even in the Unix world, they've gravitated finally to graphical user interfaces. So I hope you've enjoyed the course. I hope you enjoy this last module. And again, have fun.